Or not. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I am your host, Joe Zollo. Literally said it was not starting the stream for me. That's why if you heard me say or not to start, there's your answer. One of the best shows of the year because, I mean, it sounds bad. We don't talk a lick of shit about fantasy football. It's all just stupid stuff to bet your hard-earned money on in the biggest television broadcast of the year, every single year, the biggest sporting event of the year, every single year. The Super Bowl and the prop bets. Our same guy, Mark Drumheller, is back. Ryan is off the mend. Let's get into it. Welcome into No Punt Intended, presented by Club Fantasy. I'm your host, Joe Zollo. As always, Joshua, Ryan's finally back from being a bitch.
Still a bitch, just fighting through it for this show.
Great. And every single year, for the last 4 years, I believe, Mr. Mark Drumheller, how are you?
Doing great, man. Happy to be here. It's always, one of my favorite shows to do all year. Nothing better than just kicking back, firing some bets on some crazy markets. So, it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
On just stupid shit.
I was going to say, Mark, just to give you your flowers, I refuse to miss this show. I cannot walk right now. I literally am on crutches and made sure I had my setup perfect. I was like, I'm not missing this show. Plain and simple. It's my favorite show because of you, because of the topic. I'm happy to be here. So.
You got to love dedication like that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Can't pull himself off the damn couch for us, but for you, it's all
exactly. I skipped this show for 2 weeks.
It's a twice-a-year thing, right? We do this show, and then we do the draft show, and then, it's back to the grind. But it's good to just kick back and have some fun because, the hardest part, if you talk to anybody in the space, any analyst, the hardest part about these last few weeks is the games contract and you only get a few games. You're doing like so many hits and you're talking about the game over and over. You're trying to remember what you said the last time you talked about it. It just gets so crazy, especially now you get 2 weeks, talking about one game. So it's nice to do a show where you can just kind of shoot from the hip about some fun stuff. It's unique from any other show that I do. So I love it. I mean, I get excited for it every year. So I can't wait to dive in.
It's music to our ears, man.
It is.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Quick news. Obviously, we have to get through that. As we always do, the Chargers hired Greg Roman as the OC and Jesse Minter as the DC. Okay, great.
Dude, is Greg Roman going to turn Justin Herbert into Lamar Jackson? Like, I can't fathom an offense where Herbert's not throwing the football 700 times, and Greg Roman, that's not his game.
I think you're going to say it. I mean, my biggest concern with Harbaugh coming back to the NFL is people just gloss over the fact that, like, it's been a decade. It's been a decade since this man has been in the NFL, and the game is very, very much different. Not saying he's not going to succeed. I just think the first year might be a little bit of an adjustment.
You're telling me play defense and game manage?
I mean, it really comes down to how good's his staff at stealing signals. They'll have to figure that whole thing out now.
This is true. Well, here's the thing, Ryan. There's so many seats to fill in that stadium that they can just put scouts anywhere they want.
They got them all over the place. Spies everywhere.
Are you kidding me? They have the same trouble in Vegas, too. I mean, they're just so many seats available. It's perfect. Washington.
I don't think Antonio Pierce is going to bring in the big crowds, but, we'll see.
I still love the hire.
I love the hire as well. I think $300 entry fee into the arena to watch a bottom third NFL team isn't exactly what you're looking for.
Correct.
So
got to pay for that stadium.
Yeah, got to pay for the stadium. Washington hires Dan Quinn as the head coach. Eric Bieniemy was fired. What?
They announced the hiring of Kingsbury before they even announced the firing.
Correct.
And then there were articles speculating whether Bieniemy would stay, which I found incredulous.
So let's run through the Commanders real quick. retread of a head coach that has.
Say, Joe, you haven't announced the offensive coordinator yet. I knew that's what was going to get you going here. So.
This is just Washington being Washington, isn't it? Dan Quinn is the head coach. Retread gave up the worst comeback in NFL history in the biggest game of the year. Dan Quinn, ladies and gentlemen, that's the guy you want there. Eric Bieniemy, remember when people were claiming that it was racist he wasn't getting hired as a head coach or even getting interviewed for these head coaching positions? Okay, I think we can shut the trap there. He's fired as the OC. What makes it worse is that Cliff fucking Kingsbury, the guy who was 6-6 with Patrick Mahomes in the Big 12 and then couldn't figure out the NFC West, offensive coordinator. Caleb Williams is a commander, folks. I don't know what to tell you.
Dude, Caleb Williams regressed last year with Cliff Kingsbury as the OC.
Yeah, he looked awful when Cliff showed up. Like, he won the Heisman before Cliff got there. Cliff gets there, and he's throwing off his back foot. It's hero ball every play. He's completely different quarterback. And it's, like, if you would have talked to me 2 years ago, I would have been like, Caleb, I probably said it. Caleb Williams could be the next Patrick Mahomes, and now, like, I watched him after this year, and I'm like, this guy, I was talking to, Kate Constable, and she's a Chicago fan, and I said, listen, I wouldn't even draft Caleb Williams unless you have a real strong, like, guy that's going to be able to kind of get the fundamentals, like, the real
like Cliff Kingsbury.
And I don't. I mean, that's not Cliff Kingsbury. He was, it was crazy. Like, yeah, guys, if you want a good career, get yourself a good haircut, because Cliff Kingsbury, I feel like, is going to need, based on his appearance.
Well, you either need a good haircut, a delusional quarterback that likes you a lot, Nathaniel Hackett, or blackmail on people, Adam Gase.
That's always good.
Yeah, they're not confirmed that Adam Gase has blackmail on anybody, but
he does.
He does. Come on now.
His eyes say blackmail.
They do.
Yes, they do.
They say PCP and blackmail.
Yes. Tampa Bay hired Liam Cohen as the offensive coordinator, and he immediately endorses the re-signing of Baker Mayfield. Take that with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen. It is February. So, Rex Burkhead retires. R.I.P. Dog.
That was 100% for you. The news was very slow this week, but I was like, Joe needs this.
My guy. He helped us get a ring. Rex Burkhead, we love him.
Speaking of us.
Yeah, speaking of us, Patriots hire Alex Van Pelt as the offensive coordinator. You could have told me they hired the fry cook from the local Burger King, and you could have fooled me, honestly.
It's not Matt Patricia.
It kind of is when you think about it. He's just a fat white guy. It's the same thing when you think about it. Just like Patricia, he too didn't call plays with his previous team. So what are we doing? Yeah. He wasn't the reason Joe Flacco came back and had a resurgence. He wasn't the reason the Browns made the playoffs. No. But fuck it, let's bring him in. God, Ben McAdoo. Did you guys see that on the fucking Patriots coaching staff?
Oh, I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, Ben McAdoo.
I had no idea folks. He was alive.
Yeah.
Mark, it's insane. It's insane. This
Josh,
league.
Remember the Eagles brought him in? Well, they were going to hire him, and then they pivoted and hired Peterson.
Yep.
Was it Peterson? That was like the same time, right?
Yeah, it was the same class. Yeah. And Peterson outlasted like every coach in that cycle. Yeah.
I hate it here. Whatever. I hate it here. It's fine. Okay. Prop bets. Here we go. First off, the easy stuff. Game winner. Chiefs +2. Niners -2. It's insane. Real quick, Mark.
I think the Chiefs win the game. Now, with that being said, I didn't bet the Chiefs. I didn't bet the side. I bet the total. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and I'll kind of explain why. But I think that this is fascinating in the sense that, like, this is, your quantitative versus your qualitative handicap. Like, it's data versus intangibles. This could be the only game San Francisco plays where they're at a coaching disadvantage. Like, Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are better coaches than what the 49ers have. And I don't think Shanahan's used to playing under those circumstances. Both coaches, 2 weeks to prepare. the offenses are going to be clicking. I think both defenses are going to be very vulnerable in this game. But I think it just comes down to, like, when I look at this game and how it could play out, I just have more confidence in Mahomes. And I know people are saying, like, oh, it's just, you're just taking Mahomes as an underdog or whatever. I do in this situation. I watched last year, as an Eagles fan, and they didn't have Tyreek Hill then either. And, like, they just, were down at halftime and just went out and scored every time they touched the ball. And the Eagles had a pretty good defense last year. So I think the Super Bowl is a different game. And I think that's really the hardest part about, like, the handicap from, like, a sports betting perspective is the playoffs is a different animal than the regular season, and the Super Bowl is a different animal from the playoffs. So, a lot of folks look at, like, what we saw all year from the Niners, and they're like, hey, you know what? Like, they're the best team. I'm going to bet them. I just couldn't get there. Now, I didn't bet the Chiefs because we're not getting a good number here. Like, we're not getting a discount on the Chiefs. Like, this line probably should be 3.5. 3 is a key number from a betting perspective. So I didn't want to take them at a bad price, but I do think they ultimately win the game.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is a pick 'em. Mark, I found it interesting that there was no hook, that they set it at 2 even, bringing the scratch into play. And I'm so used to seeing half points. Do you find that or do you think they're trying to make some money off of that? I mean, you don't see many 2-point games in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I just think it's a situation
way.
of where, like, they know that they're going to get a lot of public money on Kansas City. They know that's going to happen. And they're going to have, professional sports bettors betting both sides. But it's this situation where they can't make it a pick 'em, or they're just going to get crushed with 49ers money from pro groups. And they can't make it 3 for the same reason. That, like, they're going to get crushed. If you give, like, Patrick Mahomes and the field goal, you're going to get crushed. So it's going to fluctuate between 1.5 to 2.5, kind of depending where the money comes. As we get closer to the game, the limits come up. I think it could move closer to 2.5. I wouldn't be surprised if it got there.
It started Sunday at almost everywhere at 2.5. It has.
Yeah.
I checked right before we started just to be accurate, and it fell to 2. So I won't be surprised either if it works its way easily back to 2.5.
Yeah, I think as we get closer, we'll see more San Francisco money. But it's hard because it's like, this is – I was talking about futures for next year, which is always kind of fun, like, diving into this year because there's only one game left, right? And we were looking at the odds, and it's like if Patrick – I think the Chiefs are, like, plus, like, 650 or plus 7-1 in a lot of places. And, like, if Patrick Mahomes wins with this group, like, barring the fact of, like, Andy Reid retiring or something, like – or Travis Kelce retiring, like, how can you not expect them to win the Super Bowl next year? You know what I mean? Like, this would be his greatest act ever. Like, this is like, Brady stuff in the beginning when they beat the greatest show on turf, when Belichick, decided that they were just going to, pound the hell out of Marshall Faulk and anyone else who touched the football for the Rams. Like, this, I mean, winning with this group on offense after, week 1. I mean, go back to week 1, they dropped 1 million passes, And so I think that would be, like, Mahomes' greatest accomplishment yet if he can get this done. And if he wins, like, back-to-back Super Bowls, 3 out of 4, like, how do you not expect him to win every year?
I'm with Mark. I'm going Chiefs. Couple of things that are coming out of the news that have me bothered. It's the experience on the Kansas City side. Mahomes is already saying this is a business trip. I'll bring you guys back for pleasure later. He's going to do it if they win.
That sounds gross.
He didn't say that exactly. But it
sounds gross.
Poorly worded on my part. But
especially in Vegas.
Way more interesting to me, and this is 100% where I am, is the 49ers are extremely unhappy with their practice conditions, and at least up until today, were openly whining about it. And I do not believe that puts them in the headspace to come out and beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So I am also taking the Chiefs.
Here's my thing. The moment that they decided which team was wearing what color, it was, the team that wears white has won 16 out of the last 19 games.
They have.
I don't care that the Chiefs are wearing red. I don't care that they sucked early this year. And mind you, they've sucked most of this year. They have Patrick fucking Mahomes. And they're not going to lose in the Super Bowl because Tom Brady's not on the opposite field.
Well, fun fact, the last time the Niners played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, the Niners wore white, and they lost. So...
So they're the one of the last.
It could very well come down to two bad head coaches in late game management situations because both of them have their notorious flubs. So when it comes down to that, are you going to take Mahomes with a game on the line or Brock Purdy with a game on the line? Exactly. It's going to be Patrick Mahomes. So
who's the smartest peanut at the circus? I'd put my money on Andy Reid if we're talking peanuts at that point. He's just a bigger peanut. That's all
I think
it is.
Andy probably loves circus peanuts. Doesn't he look like a guy who would just eat like
100%
peanuts?
He looks like a guy, if you put like fried shit in front of him, he'd probably like take a sniff and be like, all right, maybe.
Andy Reid has never seen
He would dip the circus peanuts in him.
Yeah.
Well, he's never seen a circus.
He's never said no to food.
He's also never seen a circus because he's at the concession stand the entire time.
Exactly. Chiefs +2. That's
Chiefs
I don't want
for me.
I don't want it. Yeah, money line as well. I don't want it to happen, but it's gonna. I don't want it to, but it's gonna happen. And yeah, if you're bitching about the practice field, thank you for bringing that up, Ryan. Yep. Also interesting that the 1 seed got the collegiate practice field and the 3 seed got the NFL practice field. That's just a little interesting for my conspiracy theorists of the script is written. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying the moon landing could have been fake. That's all I'm saying is you don't know. You never know. Why was the flag waving? You don't know. Over under 47.5. Just tell me over under, Mark.
Over. So I bet over. That's how I bet the game. I bet over, and a lot of it is because I do believe that the Kansas City offense is going to be able to move the football. A lot of what we hear about San Francisco's defense was how great they played all year, and the past couple weeks have just been kind of like a blip in the radar. I don't believe that at all. Like, I think if you can run against this Niners defense, you can expose their secondary. I think the Chiefs are built to do that. You're seeing the past couple weeks, lots of 12, 13 personnel. Andy's bringing the big boys out there. Kind of changed, how the identity of the offense. And I just think they're going to score points here. And I think San Francisco, like my point is, if you think Kansas City is going to win the game, right? Your next question is, how are they going to win the game, right? Well, they're not going to do it by scoring 17 points again. I can guarantee you that because San Francisco's offense is going to score. So they're going to both teams are going to most likely get into the upper 20s, early 30s. I think it's going to be that type of game. It's not in weather, we're climate controlled. It's in a dome. You have two of the best probably play callers of the modern era of NFL football going head to head here. Last year, Eagles came into the game with a tremendous defense, right? 70 sacks in the season. Chiefs scored 38 points, right? No Tyreek Hill, scored whenever they wanted, both teams up and down the field. And I think that's really the difference is what I was alluding to earlier. This Super Bowl is a different game. It's officiated differently, right? They don't call holding. They want it. Everybody's
they do actually.
Only when the game's on the line.
They do actually.
And right, so defense, right? So Mahomes gets the call at the end of the game, but that sort of thing. But really, what I think drives this total is going to be the start of the game. Like both these coaches, very good early game script, right? Andy Reid, the Chiefs scored touchdowns in. If we exclude. They scored touchdown on their first drive against the Ravens, field goal against Buffalo. Against Miami, it was a touchdown. We don't count week 18 because nobody played. If we go back to week 17 against the Bengals, touchdown on their first drive again, right? So Andy Reid's they're going to score early. And I think San Francisco is as well. Maybe not the first drive. When we get into the props, we'll talk about that. But I think Shanahan's going to have some things dialed up, that'll kind of get this game off and running into a scoring thing. And I don't think it's going to slow down. I think we're in for a lot of points. I wouldn't be surprised the game's played in the 30s, just like last year's Super Bowl. But if the Chiefs win, if you like the Chiefs to win the game, again, 27-24 gets it done here, 27-21 gets it done at 47.5. So they're not going to do it by scoring 17, 20 points. They're going to have to score closer to 30. And if they do that, the game's probably going to go over because they're probably not going to hold San Francisco to under 20 points either. So when I looked at the side and the total, I just felt like I was getting a better number with the total, betting the total over, liking the Chiefs, than I did just betting the Chiefs at the +2, because I felt like that wasn't fair market value. It's almost like buying a $60 Stanley Cup, right? Like, I don't want to pay $60 for a Stanley Cup. I know this thing's going to be worth $15 any other day. Why am I going to play the Chiefs in the biggest game of the year +2 when I know it should be 3.5?
I have nothing to add. I'm also going over. I did find an interesting story that a guy bet $100 on the Chiefs to score exactly 2 points. The payout's $1 million. It's just the donation, but I just thought that was hilarious. I figured I'd.
You know who wins if he hits that bet? The IRS.
Exactly.
That's who wins.
Government's getting in on the script now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Josh,
yeah, I feel like every time we do this show, I always end up taking the under, and it always like shoots way over. I remember watching that game last year, and I'm just like, what? No.
Yeah.
Where is the defense?
What is the field? They're not calling holding.
Yeah, right. I just feel like this Chiefs defense is a little different this year, and they're gonna come out. They're gonna bully this 49ers offense at the very minimum in the first half. So
they're not.
I'm going to take the under, and I'm probably going to be wrong. So
they allow 4.5 yards per carry on the season to normal running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. McCaffrey isn't normal. Despite Kyle Shanahan having a microchip of like the size of a microchip peanut in his brain, he does know. Maybe hand the ball off. Shut up, Ryan.
Talk today.
Yeah, too much peanut talk, right? He knows to give the ball to Christian McCaffrey. You're telling me the force of Willie Gay is stopping Christian McCaffrey? No, he's not. Christian McCaffrey is going to average 8 yards per carry in this game, and that is potentially on the conservative side. I mean that he will average 11 yards per touch. He will average a first down every time he touches the football. That's no doubt in my mind. Deebo Samuel is going to fuck up Charvarius Ward and L'Jarius Sneed. Whoever the fuck's on him. I don't care. He's going to fuck them up. They have two big body receivers. The Chiefs just played against Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman, the twiggiest of twigs at the receiver position in the NFL. They went against Mark Andrews. He was beaten up. You want to go against George Kittle, Mr. Justin Reed, who I've been touting all year? You want to go up against George Kittle? Okay. Sure, let's see it. Now on the other side, the Niners can't cover for fucking shit. You want to talk about a bad secondary? You want to talk about a defensive line that can't convert sacks? That's the Niners. This could creep into the 40s. There's no chance any defense is played in this game whatsoever. One team could take the over by themselves. That's how bad these defenses are. The Chiefs are overrated.
That means it's going to be a damn fun Super Bowl to watch.
That'll be fun.
The Chiefs are overrated on defense. I said it last week. The Vikings were a horseshit defense. You want to know what Brian Flores had them playing? Out of their fucking skull. And then you want to know what happened when one team figures them out? They fall to shambles. There's 19 weeks of tape on this defense. Figure it the fuck out, Kyle, because it's not that hard. Play physical because they can't do it. If you get out physicaled by them, that's how you lose. The Niners are just bitches. Like, Nick Bosa's a bitch, okay? Collect $25 million. Yeah. But you're betting the under. That's stupid. God, why are you here? First touchdown score.
It's illegal to bet in Florida.
No.
First touchdown scorer. All right, let's fly through these stupid ones quick. I'll let Ryan take his time on the 2 touchdown because that's the Ryan special. Mark, first touchdown.
Rashee Rice. So I definitely think the Chiefs are scoring the first touchdown. So let's start with that.
Sure.
Because I do believe, like, listen, if you look at both quarterbacks, right? Like, what do we think is more likely? Like, we know both coaches are going to have a great offensive game script, right? But I'm not confident. One of my favorite bets, too, is you can bet 49ers to have to punt on their first drive at 115. I think KC is plus 250 to score a touchdown on their first drive, which I love both those bets because, listen, I think that Steve Spagnuolo having 2 weeks to prepare to throw something at Brock Purdy on the first drive that he hasn't seen yet, I think is very live in this spot. I think that's a very more probable outcome than the odds are implying. Will Shanahan make adjustments? Will they march down the field? Yes, probably. But I think it's going to be the Chiefs that score first. And I think Rashee Rice at 850 is a great number. I mean, listen, I like Pacheco. I think he's going to have a monster game. But I'd rather get the plus 850 here than the bet on, Pacheco running it in the red zone. I think Patrick Mahomes gets things started here. But I definitely love KC scoring first. So I would go Rashee Rice at plus 850.
Love it. Only thing I like better is Kelsey at plus 650 just because it's Kelsey. But I agree with everything Mark said. The one interesting thing I found while researching this one, last running back to score the first touchdown was Sony Michel back in the Rams Super Bowl 51 or whatever it was. So it has not been running backs for 6 years now. So yeah. Oh, was it just 2 years ago? 2020, right? 3 years.
Was it with the Rams? Because the Rams played the Bengals.
Oh, he did it with the Rams. No.
Yeah, with the Rams.
Oh, he also did it for the Patriots against the Rams. I thought that was the one.
Maybe that's the game then.
I think that's the one.
In the Belichick game, right? Where Belichick.
Is that 51? I'm almost positive the abbreviation.
It was 50. It was 10-3. It was 10-3. So yeah, it was Michelle.
3. Don't sell them short. 13. They got 13 on the board.
It was that one then. So yeah, but regardless, it doesn't happen with running backs a lot. Yeah. So I love everything about the Rashee Rice. We've been harping on this San Francisco secondary where they look like a good defense, but they just get tore up by wide receivers. So I agree. Rice or Kelsey will have my money. Josh.
I don't know. I was kind of leaning Pacheco. At plus 600, I think it's a
This is why we don't listen to you.
He scored every game in the postseason so far.
That's fine. But San Francisco's run defense for the last 6 weeks has been dog shit. Over the last 7 games, they've allowed 5 rushing touchdowns and 5 yards a carry. Like, They get torn up by tight ends too, so I think Kelsey scoring first is 100% on the board. I could very easily see I could very easily see Kelsey getting tackled and then just Pacheco punching it in. Is kind of what we saw it literally 2 weeks ago.
All right, so here's the last 2 times these teams have played. One was the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes had the run. So I'm gonna tell you to put bets on 2 players. One, Patrick Mahomes. The last time these 2 teams played, Ray McLeod scored the first touchdown for the San Francisco 49ers. I want you to put a plus 3,000 odds bet on Juwan Jennings.
It's not bad.
Throw $10 on it.
Yeah.
Come on now. Throw $10 on it. Hell, why not? Mahomes is plus 2,500. Yeah, there we go. Legitimately, I would put Debo. I like the odds on Debo. But no, throw a little money at Patty Pat and Juwan Jennings. Why not? You know what? I only care about Ryan's opinion on this one because I know it's going to be wrong. So Ryan, who do you have scoring 2 touchdowns here?
I did not do a ton of research on this. The 2 most
When do you
obvious, all the time. The Super Bowl. Look, you take the 2 big names. There's good money on both of them. Kelsey, McCaffrey. If you got a couple of dollars to throw at something for fun. If someone's going to score 2 touchdowns, it's Kelsey or McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's I would agree.
I was going to say, you're cherry on top in this one, and I'm like, I got nothing. They just feel like the best 2.
Mark, do you have a wild card to score 2 touchdowns or no?
Not really a wild card, but I would probably lean towards. I really don't like anyone to score 2 touchdowns.
I say Rice and Samuel at plus 800 are interesting.
Yeah, Debo could probably get it done. That's probably not a bad one.
Because they'll use him everywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, he could very easily get one on the ground, 1 through the air. As could McCaffrey, honestly. So
100%. MVP. Do we think it's anybody other than the winning team quarterback?
Nope.
Yeah, I think it's Pacheco. So, I think I would bet Pacheco at 35-1. Like I would bet.
So Mark, here's the interesting thing on that because the last time these 2 teams played in the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes was awful.
Terrible.
He was terrible in that game.
The next show, you were so mad. I will never forget.
I was
just livid.
because this guy who should have won the MVP we all hate. We think he's a terrible running back. He averaged 6 yards per carry, was 17 of 104, had a touchdown, had the pass from Mahomes for to get the go ahead, and then the 38-yard run to put it away. Damian Williams.
Yep.
Mahomes did nothing in that game. He had 2 horrendous interceptions. So, Mark, I admire you, and I respect your opinion, but you are so wrong in this case. Because Mahomes could throw 5 picks, and his pants could fall off mid-game, and it wouldn't matter because he'd still win the MVP. You want to know who should have won the MVP in Super Bowl 49? Malcolm Butler. You want to know who won it? Tom Brady. He shouldn't have won it. It should have been Butler. He was the most valuable player that game. It doesn't matter. The NFL's narrative is it's the quarterback who wins. The same reason why Lamar Jackson will win MVP and McCaffrey won't. I stand by it. McCaffrey should fucking win the MVP.
Speaking of which, at 4.5 to 1, I think it's worth throwing some money on him if you believe the 49ers can win this game.
I don't think McCaffrey should win MVP. I think that's nuts.
I agree. I think it should be Lamar Jackson. But
I mean, the games where Debo and Trent Williams missed, the offense was awful. It was a train wreck.
All right, so Trent Williams is the MVP. I don't know. Give it to him.
It's definitely. I think it's like anybody but McCaffrey. Like, yeah, McCaffrey runs a lot, but yeah, okay.
Dude, Kelsey for the
running
plot.
Backs don't matter, man. Come on.
Kelsey for the plot in the Taylor Swift documentary?
I think you're right that there's 0 chance any Chief not named Mahomes. It's
0.
It's certainly scripted.
Kelsey would need 250 and 4 touchdowns.
And he'd need one of those to come from the backup quarterback.
Yes. Or he need one of those like little shovel passes that are literally just basically a handoff. Game going to overtime.
I just really want to know really quick on the Nick Bosa at plus 10,000. Who wrote laughing my ass off?
He did. Ryan did.
I would have bet so much money that it was Joe.
I knew Joe was not going to like it, but I've paid a lot of attention to Nick Bosa and the fact that they gave him odds. Incredible.
Listen,
I was like, what is going on here?
Listen, if you think it's going to be, a 3-2 game and the Chiefs get that 2-point safety,
$1 million.
and Nick Bosa is going to have 5 sacks in the game.
There you go.
It's not happening, but you put $10 on it, pretty good odds. That's all I'm saying. Will the game go into overtime? No. There's been one Super Bowl that's gone into overtime in history, and it was because of the greatest comeback ever.
If it goes to overtime, it's more Taylor Swift.
Ooh,
oh my God.
For the script.
What's interesting, Ryan, I don't know if you saw this in your props. Was there not a how many times Taylor Swift is shown during the broadcast?
Shut your mouth, Joe. Don't give away the end of the damn show, man.
Is it in there?
Yeah, that's all for Emma. I saved it for
Emma. Okay. I didn't see that. It's my apologies. Okay.
Real quick, I do want to throw out, I found these stats.
No.
Do not gamble on overtime. As Joe pointed out, 1 overtime in history. Only 13 overtime games this season and not 1 in the playoffs.
Right. So the takeaway from that is
they're due.
We're due.
We don't bet the overtime because we're only getting 9-1 for it to go to overtime.
Exactly.
And it's
you're not getting paid enough.
Right. So if they were to give me like 30-1, I'll bet overtime. You know what I mean? But
that's a really good point to go back to what you've been saying is don't take a bet just because it feels like fun. Make sure you're getting a bet that is worthy of your bet.
Right. You're getting
9-1
fair market
not.
value.
Yeah.
Right. The probability, it makes sense.
All right. Hey. Shut up. Nobody cares. Now we're getting on to the fun stuff. All right? The stuff everybody came for. This is my father's favorite bet of the year every single year. It is the over-under on the National Anthem of the Super Bowl. Reba McEntire, great pull this year for the National Anthem. Miss Reba. Has anybody done research on this?
That's all I do, buddy.
This
is the only show I research all year anymore.
My research is coming here and listening to you guys.
I love it. Well,
that's a scary thought, Mark.
Like, that's why I'm here.
Well, Mark, Ryan, I'm gonna take this one because I feel like you got some insight on the other ones.
Stats, yep.
Reba McEntire does not have a single national anthem on record longer than 87 seconds.
I actually myself taped timed the Cowboys game. She did hit 89 in the Cowboys game in 1993.
Okay.
Yeah, I timed it. I have 0 life. This is what I do for this episode.
Interesting. Okay. They mentioned that too, and I thought they had that one at 87. So there is obviously some little bit of discrepancy.
And who started their timer where I always start from the first note and try to go to the very end of the note, but I could have missed as well.
It is always the first spoken note and then the final vocal. So if the music starts before and ends after, it's just the vocal portion of it. She is known for literally being the queen of fast national anthems.
Which is why I noted that this line opened at 84.5, which is like 20 seconds shorter than it's been in like the last 10 years or something like that. So,
yes.
it's
yes.
insane.
It is now up to 90.5. Smash the under. Smash the under.
Here's the only conspiracy theory I'm going to throw out.
Oh, God.
Reba McEntire just had a new sitcom get picked up by NBC. All the airtime goes towards promoting her future new show. If she stretches it out, it's more airtime. That's all I'm going to say.
Nope. I don't think. Nope.
Or does Taylor need more time to get to her seat? Reba's a friend.
Guys.
No, it's the under. It's
the under.
The under.
Mark, you're in on the under. I think that's where
I'm on over. I'm over.
All right,
I'm
fuck
always
it.
going over. Listen. I get
Mark's
plus
an over.
money on over. I gotta take it, man.
It's plus 102.
There's only one Super Bowl. This is not a regular national anthem. This is not it. I think she's going to belt it out. Hey, maybe Taylor comes out and helps her sing it, and they extend it out even longer.
Guys,
right?
this is getting insane. This is
Who
getting
knows?
insane. All
Give
right.
me the over.
The color of
They should have
Reba's
Steve
hat.
Harvey time it.
Oh my
Ooh.
God.
And at the end, he can be like, "Oh, there was a mistake. I apologize."
That's fair.
Oddly enough, there's a bet that I never include, and it's will there be a word omitted? You mentioned mistake, but I never include that one. So
That is always a good one. Ryan, do you have any insight on the color of Reba's hat?
okay, so not a ton of like recent insight, but of the like 4 that I watched her do because I have no life, she wore no hat in 3 of them, and in her very first national anthem appearance, which matters because when she tweeted that she was doing the anthem, she tweeted a picture of her doing the national anthem the first time she ever did it with the Super Bowl logo. She was wearing a white hat, which makes every line on here absolute trash. They did not give line for white hat, and they did not give line for no hat. Stay far away from this bet.
Okay. All right. Nope. No bet. I'm not going to argue with it. I
like
didn't
gray.
think. I like gray.
Every
plus
time I
900.
bet the horses, I bet on the gray one. So I'm taking gray plus 900.
Right.
9-1.
Perfect. So, I mean, solid reasoning, honestly. First quarterback shown during the anthem. Mahomes or Purdy? Mahomes is under.
Negative, yeah.
Purdy's plus money. I think it's Mahomes.
Only thing I'll throw out is they showed Hurts first last year when we were all very convinced it would have been the Chiefs first. So.
Chiefs are the underdog this year, though. So
I think it's Mahomes, and then they normally go quarterback, coach, and it's normally back and forth. So I think it's Mahomes and then Reed. I don't know if anybody thinks differently, but
So the only thing I said, Joe, is if I'm going to bet this, I'm going to parlay those 2 together to try to get positive money because they're both negative right now.
yes.
So.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking the plus money here. I'm not laying minus 175 on first quarterback.
Dude, Mark wants Matthew Berry's hard-earned money just thrown
I
out
was
the
going to
window.
say Mark is all about just give me the plus money.
Yeah, I love it. So Mark's obviously taking the any scoring drive shorter than the national anthem. He's taking the no. So he doesn't think any scoring drive will be shorter than the national anthem.
I'm actually on the no as well because of how fast she is. I just don't know that we're going to see a big breakaway touchdown. So give me the plus money on the no. And that's exactly what I said. Not realizing I was giving tribute to Mark. Give me the plus money.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Mark, we already know Mark's taking plus money. It doesn't even matter. I'm not even going to ask him. Yeah, taking the plus money.
90 seconds we're talking about scoring drive under 90 seconds? Nah. Yeah. You know what? I don't know.
Ooh.
You know what?
Yes is minus 300, Mark.
We've seen a lot of big plays from the San Francisco offense.
You have the halftime piece, the where like, hey, the offense gets the ball
2-minute offense.
Yard line. There's 35 seconds. They got to get in the field goal range. They get in the field goal range. They kick the field goal.
Counts.
The field goal is going to be good. They're indoors. They probably kick it 70 yards. That's going to kill it, man. But it'd probably be a no bet because I'm not laying minus 300 on that.
There you go, Josh.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen unless they're counting return touchdowns, which I think very well could be the case. But
Yeah.
no, I'm taking the no here.
All right. This one is both minus money, but it's even both ways. Minus 125. Getting into the halftime performance, how many songs does Usher perform at halftime? The line is 8.5. Over or under, Mark?
I'll say
I'm going over. Yeah, I'm
Why
going
not
over.
go over? Yeah. You know,
I
Usher.
think it's over.
Yeah, I think so.
I couldn't figure out why they went such a low number. Rihanna hit 12 songs last year, so I'm also taking
Guy's
it
got a
over.
lot of songs.
So one thing I found that might influence this, he has 8 Grammy award-winning songs. So maybe that's why they set the line at 8.5. If they think he's going to stick with the Grammy songs, I just thought it was such a low line. So I'm certainly with you guys on the over.
Yeah. I'm mad about the first song choices here. I'm angry about it.
They were interesting to type in, that's for sure.
Because the one that I thought should be it isn't even listed. And then Maggie brought up another one, not even listed, that would also make for it. So let's we know Usher is a very sexual of a singer, to say the least. He's more sultry, you know.
Did I just hear Maggie laugh in the other room? Because I
don't
swear
know.
I did.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But like, you're looking at the songs in here: Confessions Part 2, Burn, Nice and Slow, My Boo. These don't really hit as like stadium Super Bowl songs to open up to, right? Those don't really hit. And My Way is minus 110, which is shocking that is the highest odds.
Was quite shocked myself. I will say, do your research on these. You'll find a lot of different places, and the odds are wildly different on a lot of these songs.
They are. My Way doesn't exactly, punch you in the mouth to start a Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah is plus 225. I don't think he opens with that. I think that is like a middle or an end that they're doing. Like they didn't open. Granted, Eminem wasn't the headliner. Yeah, you got to create some. Granted, Eminem wasn't the headliner, but you don't open with Lose Yourself. You end the show with Lose Yourself, right? You end the show or put Yeah right in the middle at the climax. And then you bring out Lil Jon and like go fucking nuts or something like that. The one I like the most with these odds is OMG. I think that's one of the only ones on this list that hits like a stadium anthem. I don't know if anybody else thinks differently.
What are the ones that aren't listed? Because they're probably out there for someone. So.
Listen, if No Limits is out there, that one hits, and then More. Those two, if you really want more, like those two, you come out and those hit. The one that's low on here that I think could potentially be a good one to come out to is You Don't Have to Call. That's really high odds at 1,800. But I really do think, if you're going to choose from the list we have, is OMG at plus 400.
Yeah,
I like, yeah.
Too.
He's going to start it with You Don't Have to Call, but he's going to add Holding at the end.
This is true. This is true. But yeah, the
Juwan Taylor, right?
Yeah. The one that I wanted wasn't on this list, so I was a little sad. So I'll have to find one that maybe has no limit. Because
I say, and they're also, I'm in a deficit here in New York. I can't bet on any of this in New York, so like my research is out in the world.
So I want to see him start with "You Make Me Wanna." That's what I really want to see.
So there's something interesting about that, because I'm giving away research for later on what I'm going to talk about, but he talked about how this is a celebration of a career, and do we just see him go in like a chronological order sort of thing? So
potentially, I think you have to open with something big, and that's why I said last year, bitch better have my money.
You called it.
I called it last year.
I told you, if we go back and watch the show, I told you there's no chance the NFL is even going to let her perform that. And you spat in my face, and we're absolutely right.
I was like, you got to open with something. You just got to open with a banger. Then you can go into My Boo and Confessions, and like you can get.
That's why I think it's going to be yeah. And to lend myself to the next question, I think he's going to bring Luda out, which is going to then get everything else going crazy. So.
Yeah. Do we think he debuts a new song? I don't think he does.
And that goes to my quote of it's a celebration of a career. I was shocked how the odds played out on this one because yes is negative money. And I can't find history of anyone debuting a song at the Super Bowl.
No,
so I found
there
that
hasn't been.
very strange.
Yeah, very, very interesting. But will any of these artists make an appearance? Alicia Keys having minus 320 is interesting because the only big collab I could think they did was If I Ain't Got You. But that's like not even on Spotify. You have to find it on YouTube. It's a great song, but she's minus money. Luda, also minus money at 250. I think that one's a fair bet to Atlanta guys. Lil Jon minus 102. You're talking Ludacris and Lil Jon to come out for, yeah. That's what you're looking for. Then you're going will.i.am, Nicki Minaj, Sean Diddy, all under between plus 225 and plus 390. Getting even further out with Pitbull and Justin Bieber at plus 400. The sucker's bet of Taylor Swift at plus 550.
I was like, come on.
It's such a sucker's bet. You know people are going to put money on it. The one I do like at plus 550 is Lil Wayne. And I will only say this because Lil Wayne is not, he hasn't been performing in a while. He just hasn't been out there in a long time. He did announce he will be at the NBA All-Star Game. So, if he's performing.
And he's dropping a mixtape this year.
Yes. So I'm like, maybe Lil Wayne pops out. If you want to go a guy with plus money, I like Lil Wayne. Everybody else can kick rocks. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Miley Cyrus, Madonna, they're not coming out. If you like plus money, I would go, don't spend your $550 on Taylor Swift, spend it on Lil Wayne. That makes more sense to me. Anybody got any wild cards?
21 Savage, newest song for Usher is The Good Good. And they did the remix with 21 and possibly SZA. I can't remember who the other person is.
There was lesser known person.
Okay, but regardless, another Atlanta guy, 21 Savage. So that's why I said Lil Jon, Luda, 21 Savage are guys that I would consider putting money on.
That's fair. Mark, Josh, anybody?
Mark,
no.
I was gonna say, what are the odds for nobody? That's what I want to know. Because I went through and I started looking at
they never put odds for that.
Like 6-7 Super Bowls. Everybody that has had an artist that has come out to perform, they have been previously announced. Timberlake was solo at Minnesota. He didn't have anybody that came out. They did like a Prince tribute kind of thing. At Atlanta for 53, that was the year that the Kaepernick boycott was going on. So they played it safe with Maroon 5.
Yep.
But they had Travis Scott and Big Boy came out. And I think that was really the last like unannounced collaboration. But in 54 in Miami was the celebration of Latin America with J-Lo and Shakira.
But it wasn't announced where they brought out J Balvin, Bad Bunny, and a bunch of other Latin artists.
Correct.
And what I found interesting is Usher referenced that performance where he said they did it for their culture, and that's what this is about. And so I'm like, that's why I'm leaning on the Atlanta stuff. So.
The thing is that I just don't know. But again, a lot of those people that came out with them had connections to Miami. I don't know very many artists that have a connection to Vegas, and Usher certainly does.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Atlanta. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
No. Well, and that's why everybody was hyping up the Atlanta Super Bowl was because they thought it was going to be like a big celebration of Atlanta, like Outkast and Usher and Lil Jon and so many other artists that have come out of there. But like when they announced for LA, it was Dre, it was Snoop. Like they announced Eminem and
yes, that was fair. Yeah, you knew everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Rihanna didn't have anybody. The Weeknd didn't have anybody when he was in Tampa.
They did not announce 50 Cent, and he was in the performance.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Okay, that's fair.
So there are surprises.
But he's the most obvious of obvious people.
He was still plus money.
I don't know that outside of Lil Jon, to me, there's not an obvious person with this.
Wayne. No. I like, if you're going to go plus money, I like Lil Wayne. There you go. Halftime show, over. That's it. That's all she wrote on the halftime show. On to the Gatorade bath. This is surprising. For the first time ever, purple is the odds-on favorite. Now, as my coworkers will tell you, Taylor Swift's one of her favorite colors is purple. She has purple cardigan. So it's very interesting, but obviously has an album color titled red. And both of these teams' colors are red. Doesn't that feel like the obvious choice here, gentlemen? I feel like that's the obvious one. No?
I went through and I actually pulled the winning color Gatorades.
Good job,
I
Josh.
went all the way back to 2001.
This
Red
is
has
insane.
never been used ever for the winner.
That's insane.
Red is
Tastes like
disgusting. Thank you, Mark.
Listen, I don't think it tastes like shit, but it is a fair analysis that, like, yeah, you might not be on the sideline. I love that purple's getting the recognition because
purple
Riptide
was
Rush
last
is
year.
underrated.
Exactly.
Riptide Rush is underrated. Okay.
So Josh brought up a good point. Purple was last year. To go along with that point, no color has ever won back-to-back. However, I'm also, if it ain't broke, don't fix it guy. And I'm just like, you're not going to get back-to-back Super Bowls and change your Gatorade color. So I'm leaning purple.
You know what color the Chiefs bathed Andy Reid in when they beat the 49ers last time?
Orange.
Yep.
Yeah.
They did. I remember that.
Yeah. So I'll take that one. Plus
Better
three.
The
money.
winning color, the color that's had the most wins since 2010 is orange with 5 and blue is the next with 4.
And clear
That checks out.
/ water is high up there because every team does have water on their sideline. And so the one article I read says they could always grab the wrong jug
Yeah.
and just start heading over. So
Plus 1,200. That's great odds for a fuck up right there.
yeah.
Plus 1,200. That's not too bad. All
I'm
right.
gonna say orange personally, but
I like orange as well. I always like to say purple because I've justice for Riptide Rush. I think Riptide Rush is a highly underrated Gatorade flavor. All right, go out and try it. It's fantastic. Now the crazy stuff, which if we weren't already diving into Gatorade bath colors since 2001, if that wasn't crazy enough for you. Here we go.
Where I've done absolutely zero research and we're
Great.
all having fun now.
Great. So we're just throwing them out there. Great. With 10 minutes left spare, we're on track too. This is great. Number of hot dogs sold at State Farm Stadium during the game. How many glizzies are going to be sold at old Allegiant Stadium, Mark? 17,000 is the line. Minus 225 for the over, plus 185. Oh, excuse me. Under is minus 225. Over is plus 185.
I want to throw something to Mark real quick before he answers.
Because he's going to say the over.
They kept the numbers the same as last year, 17,000, but they wildly changed the odds. These were both close to like 100 last year because I think they didn't know exactly what they were doing and things shifted drastically. So,
Yeah, I go under here. I mean, who eats hot dogs anymore? Except maybe if you're at a baseball game. But like
That's-
Kobayashi,
Yeah,
like
more
that's it.
Baseball game every time. Glizzy every time. No doubt.
Joey Chestnut. All right, but like 17,000. Like people aren't eating hot dogs at this thing. I can't imagine. They have
Well-
like real food there.
Well,
Yeah.
you're spending $6,000 minimum on a ticket. I don't think you're going to be like, oh, look, a $3 hot dog at.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
first of all, that hot
You-
dog
you-
ain't $3.
You're writing it off
Let's be
anyway.
perfectly clear.
Okay, a $30 hot dog. No, I'm just gonna I'm gonna shell out for the $150 frozen
$3
burger.
hot
What do you
dog would
mean?
Be like the little wieners you can buy. You know.
Yeah. A broken cracker on
Little
each
pigs in a
side.
blanket.
Yeah, little pigs in a blanket, whatever they call them. But yeah,
I'll go-
hot dogs are
I'll-
out, dude. No one's eating that shit.
I'll go under.
Also
that
under.
is definitely under.
Not great.
Under.
High-end
Now-
wallet, high-end food. That ain't a hot dog, so.
Number of beers sold at Allegiant Stadium during the game. 120,000 is the line. That's insane.
That's conservative.
Yeah, that's good. But the odds are favorite to the under, minus 175. The over is plus 130. I'm smashing the over on this one. Plus
Yeah, I want to make sure to
130?
include seltzers, but yeah, I'm smashing you over. Plus 130, give me plus money.
Yeah, seltzers are kind of the new in thing now, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't obviously clarify any of that on these.
No, I know, of course,
So,
yeah. But they gotta,
So here's the thing that might hinder it. People getting absolutely figgity fucked up before the game. Getting absolutely toasted before the
Thanks.
game. But at the same time, it's essentially a 2-to-1 ratio for beers to seats in the stadium. 65,000 person capacity.
yeah.
You're telling me each person needs less than 2 beers?
The
I
only
like it.
way this goes under if there's a large contingent that gets lost and never makes it into the stadium. Gets lost on the strip, right? It's happened before sometimes. You know, the strip will swallow you up.
Listen,
sometimes it's like assistant coaches.
Here's what I need to do. I need our girls from Women of Fantasy Football to just walk up and down the strip and find people with Super Bowl tickets. All the girls that are there this week.
Oh my God! I now have an idea to pitch them for the next couple of days. This is gonna be
representing
fun.
Women of Fantasy Football out on Super Bowl Media Week. Shout out all the girls out there. National Girls and Women in Sports Day. They need to go up and down the strip, find people with tickets, or even if they don't have tickets, be like, hey, if you went to Super Bowl, over under how many beers would you have at the game?
At an average, yep, I love it.
And I have to imagine 2. I would think the average would be 3. Personally, I think the average would be 3. Right? And get a mix of people. Get your older demographic. Get your grandpas, your retirees, and then get your fucked up rich college students. They're on daddy's money. Like, figure out what they're gonna do. I guarantee you they're gonna have more than 3. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
I want to throw out, if you guys are not following the Women of Fantasy Football account, make sure you're doing that
a great job
right now. Women_FF. They are interviewing a bunch of players out there. We're getting questions from Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, interviews with Cam Hayward. A lot of really cool stuff going on from the girls representing Women of Fantasy Football. Josh, I can't remember everybody who's out there, and I probably do, but I don't want to forget a name, so I'm going to let you announce who's out there doing such a fantastic job. Oh, you're muted, buddy. You're muted.
And he's muted. Wow, perfect timing. Yes.
Great timing. Look at that.
Wow. StreamYard hates women in sports. StreamYard hates women in sports.
Kelly Singh, Roxanne, both from Club Fantasy and Women of Fantasy Football. Sam Holt from Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life, as well as Renee Marie, I believe is her last name, from Freak NFL down in Mexico. And Gemma Martinez is actually with NFL Fantasy in Espanol, but she's doing some plugs for us with Women of Fantasy as well. So.
Whoop, whoop. Heck yeah.
Fantastic job. Follow them, women_FF.
Yeah, they're going to do a live stream from the Bellagio Fountain Show, and they're going to ask people how many beers they're going to have. So, there you go.
I love it.
Well, I will still pitch that to Kelly. I think she'll have some fun with that.
Here we go. Quick fire. Which beer commercial will appear first, Budweiser or Bud Light? Budweiser is even money. Bud Light's minus money. Mark.
Oh, I got to go Budweiser. Clydesdales, right? You got to start with the Clydesdales.
Yes. Ryan.
Yeah, I like the plus money there, Budweiser.
Josh.
Budweiser.
Budweiser appeared in the fourth quarter of last year's game. I'm going to go Bud Light.
I thought I remember it being early last year. Maybe that was 2 years ago.
Late. So I like Bud Light. I think Bud Light really needs to help their image after everything that
last year. The question was Bud Light or Heineken, and Heineken did beat Bud Light. I do have that from my.
Okay, maybe that's the one that I'm thinking of. Then. Yep.
Which automobile brand will air a commercial first? Hyundai, best odds of plus 175. Then you go Kia, Porsche, Audi, Toyota. Nobody higher than plus 400. Hyundai, best odds, but they're still plus money. Mark.
I'll go Audi.
Okay.
350. It's not the biggest long shot, but if I'm gonna flip a coin here, I'm gonna take some good return.
I feel like Audi's been everywhere lately. Sorry, but yep, I'm with Mark.
Porsche, fast life needs a fast car. That's Vegas, baby.
He's like, sign me up. I'll be in the commercial.
I was like, Josh is out here marketing, and all you have to do is give him a Porsche.
I can't remember the last time I saw a high-end car brand do a Super Bowl commercial.
When was the last time the Super Bowl was in Vegas?
Never. Well, 1, never. 2, the only thing that inclines me to say Audi is that they own Volkswagen. So, and Volkswagen has made Super Bowl commercials in the past. However,
but if it's a Volkswagen commercial, would it then classify as an Audi?
It does not classify as Audi.
I think so.
But he's just saying we've seen it from their company before. So
yes, same ownership. I am gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Hyundai. I think the best odds on there. I'm gonna go with Hyundai. Which food brand will air their commercial first? Best odds goes to Doritos at plus 125, then Snickers plus 150, Cheetos 300, avocados from Mexico 500. Mark.
I remember when this happened last year, and I'm like, what the fuck is an avocado from Mexico?
Avocados from Mexico. I love that commercial every year.
That bet hit last year. Yep.
I love that commercial every year.
Josh taking away my research because that's where my money's going.
Yeah.
I like avocados from Mexico plus 500. I'll take that.
Dude, they're early on every year.
And they weren't like I said, they weren't like which food was first. It was last year. It was a lot of head-to-head stuff. This year they grouped everything together. So.
I'm doing avocados from Mexico as well.
I am as well. Same. I love it.
Clean sweep.
First one of the show, I think.
Clean sweep. Avocados from Mexico. What's up? Will Betty White appear in a Snickers commercial?
So I thought this was weird. I had to go read up on this
because she's dead.
Well, it was more about the Betty White Snickers commercial is looked at as the greatest Super Bowl commercial like ever, where she was out there like tackling.
So you think they'll retread it?
So will they retread it is the story here. So yeah.
Okay.
I feel like if they were going to retread it, they would have retreaded it last year.
That's fair. I was shocked there were even odds on this, and I was going to just delete it until I saw the story, and I was like, okay, let me explain.
And it's insane that yes is minus money, which concerns me. Yes is minus 200, no is plus 150.
Right?
They know something, right?
I feel like they do.
I'm going to bet no. Yeah. I'm going to bet no.
I'm not betting on this.
I wouldn't bet on it either, but for the sake of the show, I'm going to say no. I mean, honestly, if I saw her in a take, I'd probably spit take if I saw it, but I'd also really I would be just like, let the woman rest in peace. If it was a brand new commercial, then I would have been like, oh my God, what the fuck are we doing, people?
Yeah.
The only thing that makes sense is a perfect tie into this question because she was a massive animal advocate and a fan of animals, especially. So when she passed away, a lot of people were saying, hey, please, in honor, if you want to honor Betty White, donate to your local animal shelter because she spent so much time with animals throughout her entire life. So number of commercials to feature a dog. The line is 6.5. If you think the Betty White commercial's happening, and you can probably assume there's going to be a dog in the Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdales, I like the over. Outside of that, I think it's going to be the under. The under is minus 115. Over is plus 115. Mark?
I don't know, man. Super Bowl is about marketing, and everybody loves dogs. Who doesn't love dogs? I mean,
everybody does love dogs.
Except hot dogs. I mean, we're talking about the actual animal, right?
Glizzies.
Hot dogs are out. Real dogs are in. So
Glizzy's out.
15. I'm a buyer.
This sounds like a marketing room now. Hot dogs are out. Real dogs are in.
Yeah.
Hot dogs. So 2022.
I'm taking the mark here. It's plus money. Give me the over.
Oh, 100% the over. The most viewed television program in the world every single year. Give us all the dogs.
Everybody loves dogs. Yeah.
Now, question.
Well, they had that fucking farmer's dog commercial last year where everyone's like, if this dog dies at the end, I'm never watching TV again.
We riot.
Yeah.
Remember that Nationwide commercial that it was so happy, and then it's but then he dies at the end of it, and it was like, I'm sorry, Nationwide. It's the middle of the first quarter. Can we calm the fuck down, please?
Sitting around drinking beers with my friends. I don't need tears pouring.
Yeah, what? Nationwide, calm down. All right, jeez. Now, speaking of dogs, the Puppy Bowl.
Joe, they did not have your fun bet from last year anywhere I could find, so I was gonna just leave.
Will dogs have sex on the field?
Will they try to mate on the field?
What the fuck? That's the best bet. And you always bet yes.
I even searched it by name, and all they gave me were last year. So.
That's horseshit. Dude, because so many people bet yes, and it happened that they had to take it away.
Ryan was up all night wiping his computer.
I'm like, whatever you do, honey, do not look at my search history.
The government goes and looks at Ryan.
Why am I getting this ad on my Facebook?
The government goes and looks at Ryan's computer. They see, how many hot dogs were eaten at the previous Super Bowl. What color hat did Reba McEntire wear?
Reba McEntire sing the national anthem 16 times. Something is going on.
And then he also looked up, do dogs have sex during the Puppy Bowl, and can I bet on it? What's worse, that or typing how do you make a bomb? Honestly, what's worse?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a list at this point.
What's worse? Team rough or team fluff, Mark? Even odds both ways, minus 120.
Always team rough, man.
Team rough. Ryan.
Them Rough Riders, baby.
Josh.
That's literally my note. That's a Rough Riders roll.
Yep, I'm pretty sure I say that every year.
I always gotta go team fluff. You gotta go. It just feels like a powder puff team. Team Fluff. Here we go. The Puppy Bowl MVP, male or female? Keep in mind, it is National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
That's literally my note, Joe.
Yeah.
So in honor of that, it's a male. Obviously.
Obviously,
it's a male. No. That's just today. If the Puppy Bowl was today, it'd be a female. It's on Sunday. Male.
Still gonna be a female.
No. I think a female won last year as well. So I would go female. And reminder,
they're
people.
dominating.
Yeah, all of these puppies are available for adoption as well as you watch
it's
them.
It's actually fun to watch. It's hilarious. The commentators get so into it. It's really fun. So.
And the cat cheerleaders are there, and the kitty cheerleaders are also available for adoption.
Yep.
They're fantastic. And then, of course, what Ryan said, the only props that matter in this entire thing.
Our good friend Emma. Her and I
How many times will Taylor Swift be shown? The fact this line is only 4.5.
So I would be willing to bet it's going to be higher because these lines were when nobody was sure she could make it back from Japan. So.
Okay. All right. You know, I'll throw it a line because the line right now is 4.5. That's asinine. That is an easy smash over. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they've been saying that she averages like 3 appearances like every game that she's at, right? Like 3 times that they flash or something along those lines.
Listen,
I know the screen time itself is insanely minimal, which makes it even more hilarious that people throw a bitch fit.
Beer all over, and it's going to be just a madhouse, dude. They're going to be on there. This will hit in the first half.
Over 4.5.
It'll hit before the game starts.
That's a good point. But this is also from the start.
This is from kickoff.
Yeah.
So if she's shown before kickoff, it doesn't count, I believe. It has to be in between kickoff and the final snap of the game.
We looked this up the last time when it was about Tom Brady,
so,
I think.
Every time Kansas City scores, she will be shown.
100%.
Yeah.
During the halftime show.
Oh, 100%.
She will be shown at least once.
Yeah, especially the way she was vibing during the Grammys. So.
She will be shown just for being there. She'll have that one instantly.
Yep.
This is the easiest over bet in history. This is the easiest over bet. If this line was 10.5, I'd bet the over. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I would say anything single digits, I think I would go the over. I think 10.5 is where I'd get scared. But I think anything single digits, I'm taking the over.
Easy. And will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift after the game? Such a sucker's bet that people are going to put yes. It's not happening.
Yeah. He did get asked. People are not happy he got asked. Let me throw that out there. He did get asked, and he said there's only one ring I'm focused on right now. So great answer from Kelce.
Yeah.
And great job by Kelce, who has not been a dick about these questions whatsoever. He has answered every single one of them. Not that I would have expected less from him, but he has done fantastic.
So I do have to say, it's interesting you found these odds. I found odds way closer with like no was minus 200. I'm like, you smashed the shit.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I don't even remember exactly why I picked the ones I picked. And again, we're not going to get into. I did internet searches that just and got him in here so we had a show sheet. So.
I love it. And for my buddy Richard, this is interesting. He is a Niners fan, so go Niners. We're watching the Super Bowl on Nick, and he's curious if the broadcast will have the same commercials. That is interesting.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I
really hope that Bud Light is grooming the youth.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think
Nickelodeon.
legally they can do that. So,
but one could hope and have it be very funny.
Oh,
it's not going to happen, but one could hope.
By the way, I would throw $10 on him proposing. I know it's not going to happen, but 10 to 100 on some shit that could.
See, that's the sucker
bet. 100%. That's like putting $100 on the Chiefs to score 2 points.
Well, that's
terrible.
A little more money than I'm willing to.
Yeah, he could have put $10 on that and won 100,000.
What if he wins MVP and then proposes? I mean, everyone would say it's fixed, right?
If Kelce wins MVP, I throw everything out of my apartment and light it on fire.
Woods girls against it in the chat as well. They said it's not happening. So.
No. Oh God, that would be brutal. Well, always fun.
What
always
if he said no?
Oh my God!
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
Roger Goodell would find the kill switch and just end the entire
broadcast. Hold on.
Like, you're the real MVP.
Can I get the odds on Will Taylor Swift say no to the proposal of Trout? Can I get odds on that one? I want odds on that. One.
What a way to end the show, Mark.
I'm just saying, then like next year they could get back together, and then at the Super Bowl next year, when Mahomes wins his 100th ring, it could be like, hey, is he gonna say yes this time?
It just becomes a shtick for the Super Bowl where he just keeps proposing to her.
It's like the Gronk
never gets the rose. Like
it's like the Gronkowski live kick every year. It's just gonna keep repeating.
Yeah.
Oh,
51st dates.
I love it.
Wow, what a time! Taylor performing in Tokyo.
Great
right
show
now.
always. My face literally hurts from the last half an hour because of the just crazy shit we've been talking about.
Because we discussed how many glizzies will be sold at the game, and the fact that you researched dogs humping essentially on your Google Chrome. Google Chrome is going to be so confused feeding you farmer's dog ads and like Nathan's hot dog ads.
I promise you, I use farmer's dog and get so many targeted ads from them already.
So like they're gonna be like, why are we serving him Nathan's hot dogs, farmer's dog, and also like cat porn? Like, why is this? On...
I hadn't even thought about clearing my history, but now I feel like I have to.
Clear your history, clear your cookies.
I might break the laptop altogether.
Honestly,
you gotta Tom Brady that thing.
Yeah.
Take the train and throw your laptop into the Hudson. I think
fantastic idea.
That's
pull the emergency lever.
Yeah. Nobody's diving out there. That river's disgusting. Nobody's going out there.
It'll melt the motherboard immediately.
Exactly. Instantly. It's like molten lava under that water. What the fuck is this show? Honestly, what even is happening?
Fun, man.
Wow.
Once a year.
Once a year. I get top 5 show. Honestly, I don't know where, but it's up there. Top 5 show by far for the whole year because it's just absolute utter fucking nonsense we talk about for over half the show. Mark, thank you as always for coming on.
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate you having me, man. Always a blast.
We always appreciate it. Follow him at X_Drumheller. Always a good time. Follow Ryan at the Fantasy 5, Josh at the One Hudsoni, myself at Joe_Zollo. But more importantly, to make me look really, really good to my boss, at Indie Fuel would be amazing.
We did a big women in
go follow women of fantasy football.
Yeah, but what is the actual handle, Josh?
At women of _FF, Instagram and Twitter.
IG, Twitter. Beautiful. Always remember, defense wins championships. Offense wins fantasy football. We will see you next week. Enjoy the Super Bowl.